Okay, there's two other places, or there's really lots of places with the product we have and the ability we have to see things. And one example I'll use is Blue Cross Blue Shield. We were working with them, and one of the things I noticed on the inside was that they had 34 people full-time in one area just keying data into spreadsheets because their internal systems, be it SAP, PeopleSoft, whatever, do not feed the management and executive level reports, especially as they do acquisitions and mergers. So we went in, and there were two risks involved. One was we built a thing called the Spreadsheet Wizard, which takes their raw data now and populates the spreadsheets hands off. So we eliminate risk, we eliminate key punch errors, we eliminate human errors, and now one person in 30 minutes a week can do what 34 full-time headcounts did at Blue Cross in that area. The other issue that they have is if somebody goes into that spreadsheet and they're disgruntled or they're leaving, they could change a formula and nobody would know it. So we created a thing called Spreadsheet Forensics. And Spreadsheet Forensics will monitor all your spreadsheets. And I'll give you a great example. In this case, I found one spreadsheet with 3,400 links to other spreadsheets in it. Some spreadsheets have tens of thousands of formulas and links to other spreadsheets. So changing one number can dynamically impact your whole organization. And this is one of the biggest risks facing corporate America today. And nobody understands it, nobody deals with it, but it's behind the scenes, it's a major problem. And what the forensics tool will do is take a snapshot of all your spreadsheets and then monitor them and alert you that somebody changed the formula, somebody changed the number. Even if somebody keys the number backwards or transposes something, when that connects to the other 1,200, 1,800 spreadsheets, you could have a really downline disaster. One other client I'm talking to, they've got 5,000 servers loaded with spreadsheets. So you can see how this is propagated out. Now on another note, I went into a major hospital and built a purchasing analyzer. And what we did there is we took 2 years worth of history and we analyzed all their data. And what we found was that the vendors had talked them into ordering for each department. So if we both needed a box of paper, we cut 2 purchase orders. So number one, the process was huge. There were 6 people, 8 people touching a piece of paper to get an order for a box of paper. It was costing them hundreds of dollars. Number two was I looked at some other hospital equipment. And if they bought one at a time, they paid $700. But if they bought 2 at a time, they paid $500. But because they were breaking the purchase orders out into eaches for each department, they were paying a much higher price, and they didn't realize these things happen. So we moved the same way we did at SmithKline to consolidated purchase ordering. And in the case of SmithKline, it took their purchase orders from $275,000 down to about $73,000 a year. So there's huge amounts of savings, not only in paperwork and reduction in people costs and computer costs, but there's also huge amounts of reductions in the risk and the errors and the overcharging, the overbilling by these vendors who obviously knew. Obviously, if you order ones at a time, you're not going to get the group discount because they're not rolling it up in their servers and you're not rolling it up in your facility, so you're not catching it. So our software actually went through all your history and then said, well, gee, every time you buy 2 of these, you only pay $350 a piece, but when you buy 1, you pay $500. There's something wrong here. Now, on another note, we went into a major bank and helped them, and they gave me all their purchasing, and they asked me to analyze their purchasing. And I took their purchasing, and they wanted a 2% cut, and in about 2 days I came back. I looked for high dollar and high volume items. That's the way we're going to find these things. And what I found was Verizon is billing them under 85 or 88 different names. So it would be Pennsylvania Verizon, Verizon of Western New York, and then there were a couple other Verizons. So I pulled all the Verizons out, and what they hadn't realized is their software only pulled left to right, so they couldn't scan. So we built a clustering system. They could check off and group these. And then what they found was they had a huge negotiating point to go back in and say, well, this is our annual volume with you, not what it is in each one of these 88 silos, but this is what it really is in total. So there's another huge opportunity there that was, he said he would save 5% annually just on negotiating that. So that was a huge hit, very fast to find one of those situations. And I can go on and on with these kinds of stories like this, but there's lots of savings out there.